This video is not about blaming ourselves. It's about understanding a mindset that keeps us stuck. Well, most people don't even realize that they are in a victim mindset. I've been there myself as well. And the key here that once you become aware, you actually already start leaving it. And awareness is the line between being a victim and being a creator. Hi Vivis, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, this is Riri. And in today's video, we're going to talk about victim mindset. We will learn what is really a victim mindset, how it's created, and what keeps it strong, and how to step out of it and take your power back. By the end of this video, you will be able to recognize it, understand it, and step out of it. So let's jump on. What is a victim mindset? Many people are wrong about this ideology that having a victim mindset makes you a bad person. Not really. Because victim mindset is born from survival mode actually, which means it is related to traumas in the past, situations that made you dim your light, silence yourself in order to blend in the environment where you were, and therefore the victim mindset got born. And victim mindset is when you believe that life is happening to you, not for you. You blame people, situations, timing, or even the past for the present moment, for whatever the outcome was from situations. And you feel stuck even though you are actually capable. You know it from the inside. And the arguments behind the victim mindset sound very convincing and logical. And this is the dangerous part of it actually. And victim mindset is giving your power away while thinking that you are protecting yourself. So how the victim mindset is created? You give your power away by choosing to say yes while you want to say no in a certain situation. So you please the other in order to keep the person, and by the end the outcome might be the thing that you don't want. And once the outcome is here, you're not satisfied because you weren't satisfied by your first choice, by your actual choice, which was the yes while you wanted to say the no. So by the end you start blaming the other person. Why that person asked me this? Why this outcome is like this? Why this person that? Why the timing? Why that? Why this? And you don't see that you allowed this to happen. You allowed this outcome to happen by you saying yes while you wanted to say no. This is the victim mindset. You cannot really spot it right away. Our brain tends to protect us from seeing the reality. And why? Why is that? That's why we need to understand where this mindset, victim mindset, comes from deeply. So how this victim mindset is created. So victim mindset is often created in childhood or early relationships, when your needs weren't met, when you speaking up don't change anything, when you learned that staying quiet feels more safe. Therefore, your brain learned, I adapt instead of choosing. Back then, in your childhood, you were actually a victim because you were a kid, a child that indeed your capabilities of choosing were very limited. So you had to adapt. You created that defense mechanism and that mindset because it protected you, because indeed it was a survival situation. Yet now, even though there is no survival situation, you are still functioning the same way because of your childhood traumas. Once you are aware that you function from your survival mode, and this what nurtures the victim mindset, you will know what choice to make next time. At least you are aware. So now you have the choice to make as an adult. You have the right to choose a yes or a no. You don't have to say yes in order to please the other person because you need to survive in this household, for example. No, you have the right to say no and own up to it. in order to prevent that outcome that you don't want and to not blame the other person, which is the victim mindset that we tend to have after resenting whatever the person was doing because we chose against our will. So now you actually can make the choice that you really actually want. At some point, indeed, this mindset protected you and you needed it. And with time, as you are an adult now, the protection returned into a prison, which is this victim mindset. And I would like to congratulate you that you are here in this video, because this means that you are self-aware and that you want to grow and change from yourself. I'm so proud of you. So what strengthens the victim mindset? During the way, we've been doing things that we didn't know that they are actually nurturing the victim mindset. Labeling yourself by limitations. For example, I'm an overthinker. I am just like this. This actually nurtures the victim mindset. This makes you only blame others and not hold yourself accountable. This is what victim mindset does, which makes you blaming the others constantly, complaining a lot without changing, lowering your standards and calling it as understanding, accepting less and then resenting it. These two that I've said happen a lot in friendships and relationships. And unfortunately, because we don't talk about our standards in the right way, you're telling yourself that maybe if I say my standards as they are, I will be too much. Yet the standards that you already put, they are made for a reason. Don't abandon your standards in order to please another person, because by the end, you will find yourself blaming another person because you didn't even vocalize your standards from the beginning. When you stay in a situation where you didn't necessarily choose it, you actually are choosing it then, even though you don't want to admit it. So for example, we all been through this, through friendship, at least once in our lives, where a friend does something that bothers us, yet we choose not to tell them about it. And we keep giving them chances for them to see it without us even saying it. So we are waiting for them to be mind readers for us to understand what is going on in our heads, and we don't vocalize what is going on. So we keep giving chances to that person. That's what is happening in our heads, because the other person doesn't even know that we are giving chances, because the other person doesn't even know that there is something wrong. So we start building resentment towards that person. And by the end, we start blaming the other person. Start saying why that person didn't see this, why they didn't change, why. Well, it is actually victim mindset, because we didn't choose wisely from the beginning. We didn't choose to vocalize what was happening. We chose to remain silent in order to keep the peace, but it is chaos actually, not peace. So by choosing to stay in that friendship without saying anything, you are indirectly choosing to be in the victim mindset. Saying yes while you want to say no is a form of self-abandonment as well, and it encourages the victim mindset, because afterwards, once you say yes while you want to say no, you blame the other person by the end. Well, you had the choice from the beginning to make. Explaining yourself over and over again instead of walking away. You let the person crossing your boundaries again and again, so you choose to stay even though they are disrespecting you. And by the end, you blame the person why they crossed the boundary. Yes, indeed, they crossed the boundary. You can be a victim once they do it. So now you have the choice either to say it and if they will respect your boundary the next time. If not, you will walk away. And if you stay in this dynamic, you are choosing to stay in this dynamic. Therefore, it creates the victim mindset afterwards. You start blaming the other person. Why they are crossing my boundary? No, you are actually asking the wrong question. You should ask, why am I allowing them to cross my boundaries over and over again? Sit with this question. If this situation speaks to you, and for example, knowing someone is wrong yet staying anyways, waiting for someone to change while you know this will never happen, and you start blaming the other person why they're not changing, while you have the choice to either stay and accept the person as they are, or to leave because this doesn't match your standards. That's why actually the easiest role to play is to be a victim, and the hardest one is to be the responsible. So how to step out of the victim mindset and to be responsible over your decisions and over your life. So step one is radical honesty, which means you see the situation as it is and you tell yourself that this doesn't match with me. This doesn't match with my standards. This situation isn't for me, which means we allow this to happen. Then you regain your power and you know that you can choose differently. Then choose whatever matches with your values and standards. So step two is owning responsibility. This is the proper ownership of responsibility. To take responsibility over your choices and no self-blame. And responsibility here means I decide what I tolerate. You know that you have the right to choose what you tolerate. Step three, action over words. Boundaries without actions, there are only hopes. So once you say that here is my boundary and you have to respect this, you should respect your boundary first. So once the person in front of you crosses the boundary, you say this happened and you see if it changes or not. Once you see it's not changing, you actually leave because you respect your boundary and you respect yourself, which means self-respect is shown by behavior and by actions. And this makes the brain to realize that this matters to us. Step four, identity shift. Know that you are actually the creator of your reality. The present moment is made by your choices, and the past is in the past. The past doesn't define you. The past is a tool to understand and to learn from, to choose wiser in the present moment. Then you have the choice to either show up with that version or choose differently this time. Therefore, every day you vote for who you are. That's how we build our new identity. It's an everyday work. It's you reminding yourself of your boundaries, your values, your standards, and acting up on it. And every time you choose differently, the way that is aligned to your reality and your standards, the pattern shifts and your identity shifts. And it becomes more real to you. You stop being a victim once you stop abandoning yourself. And if you want to know more about self-abandonment and how to stop abandoning yourself, I have a whole video linked up here. It will really benefit you. I advise you to check it out. So this is not really about perfection. And you actually might fall back sometimes, and that is okay. It is not a step back. It is actually, the arch. You should step back in order to go very, very strongly, With time and every day, you will notice it faster. You will notice once you step into that victim mindset. And this means this is working. The shift is working because it doesn't happen from day one, actually. It happens day after day after day. And you can fall back, yet this time you fall back with awareness because you are aware now. Once you are aware, the magic starts happening. You should know that nothing stops someone that is responsible over their life, yet because they stop running from themselves. So if this resonates, I invite you to sit with it. I'd love to read on the comments if you've been through this and if you noticed that you went through a victim mindset, and what did you do afterwards? And let me know if you have any topics in mind that you'd like me to talk about in my next video. We are here on a journey of growth, all of us together. I am super proud of you. You've got this, and I believe in you. Have a blessed day, BBs, and see you in my next video. Tschüss!